Welcome to Woodshop 101. This is episode 137 for October 1st, 2018. I'm Jeremy Crawford of the Countryside Workshop, and I'm joined today by my co-host Drew Short of Rockin' H Woodshop and our returning co-host Sam Raimondi of DIY Huntress. What's going on?
She's just been on a sabbatical. It's just sabbatical is all it was.
You guys just can't get rid of me. I told you were stuck with me for life. Like, I wasn't kidding.
Well, then where in the crap did you go?
I've been around. I've been a floater, you know?
When we decided that we weren't going to record last week because Sam was sick, then we're like, well, crap, she's on vacation. Let's ask the other Sam. We can at least get one on. And the funny thing is Sam's not recording tonight, but she's only like 30 minutes from me right now.
Well, she could have hung out. You guys could have had a play date today.
Well, this isn't the only time she's been there and not showed up
this is Jeremy. Her third time since she's been a co-host on the podcast come to South Carolina and not come to the shop.
Can't leave that island, man. That island living.
Dude, if that resort island is insane. But here's what I'm gonna say. If I'm ever in the area, I'm not telling you I'm coming over. I'm just coming over. Whatever. Let's do it.
Surprise.
Let's do it. You might get a load full of kids and dog and everything else, but
I'm all right with it.
Whatever. I'd probably be traveling somewhere. She'd be knocking on my door like, I'm not home. Sorry.
Like, what are you doing? So,
do you have a ring on your doorbell? Like if I see my ugly mug in your doorbell?
Yep.
Like, hi.
And be like, oh, I'm out of town. Tell her I'm out of town real quick. I'm out of town. I'm not coming to the door.
This is just like old times because for everyone listening out there, I asked what we're talking about tonight, and I got a big fat. Well, I guess whatever. So it's gonna be a good one, you guys. It's gonna be a good one tonight.
Yeah, it's always a good one. Maybe we know, and we're just gonna quiz you.
Oh, don't quiz me.
Okay, because we don't know.
Graduated already. I don't want to take any more quizzes.
Graduated as in left?
Just left that place. All right, well, we want to thank our patrons, John Ramminger, Sean McHenry, Carl Mose, Neil Sims, Eric Rhoten, and our newest, Jeb Braswell. So thank you guys. And if you'd like to support the show, you can head over to woodshop101podcast.com, find the show notes for today's episode, and there will be links for small one-time donations and recurring donations. And if you want to become a patron of our Patreon campaign, then head over to patreon.com/woodshop101. All of our patrons receive an after show twice a month as a benefit. All you have to be in is at that $1 level, and you'll get access to it. You can also support the show by buying a Woodshop 101 podcast t-shirt, hoodie, rev marker packet, and just head to countrysideworkshop.com/shop for that link. And we do have some new shirts. I need to get those shirts out. I need to put them on Instagram.
Yeah, you do.
I have one of them.
I need to buy them.
Yeah. I
haven't bought them yet.
Sam needs to buy one. There's a tank top now, Sam.
Wait, I'm pretty sure I put one in my cart and I probably just zoned out and never purchased. I'm like pretty certain it was in my cart at some point, and I was like, why did I never get my tank top?
Okay.
Now I'm realizing I don't think I actually pressed purchase.
Okay, well I don't have a tank top here.
You just told me you had tank tops.
Well, we do, but I don't have it physically on my desk. But I do have you a shirt that has literally been sitting here for I don't know 6 months.
Nice.
So
better late than never.
Well, the whole. Well, I've had it for a long time. I was like, well, I'll just send it to you, and I'll send you that project that I have not told anybody else that we're going to work on. And I was like, well, I'll just throw it all in the same box, and that's another one of those backlog projects.
Yeah, sorry, Drew. Jeremy and I have some secrets that we haven't shared with you yet.
I think I told him.
You said you didn't tell anybody.
Well, I told him. He's not anybody.
Family here.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
So it'll come out soon enough. I need to get it done because I have all the hardware for that thing just sitting around too.
I'm ready.
So, all right. Well, let's talk about what's going on in the shop. Sam, you want to let us know what you've been up to?
Well, I just Well, it's been a while, you guys. I finished building my new shed shop.
Which is fantastic, and we're going to talk about that.
Is that a she shed?
No, it's not a effing she shed. It's a shed shop. Okay. Jake from State Farm.
Oh.
No, it's not. I like shed shop. I don't know. I just feel like when I think of a she shed, I think of like a frilly, pink, lazy boy.
I will send
like
you a
knitted station.
chandelier if you want. You can hang it in your shop shed.
There's no room for chandeliers in my shed shop because there's a dust collector hanging from the ceiling. So get out of here.
Ooh, I need to hang my dust collector too.
But yeah, so shed shop's pretty much done. I have a couple things left to do in there before it's completely done. I'm going to be adding some reclaimed barn board to the walls to kind of hide some of the plywood ugliness that I have up right now. And then I am actually really excited because I'm working on my first metalworking project in there, probably in a couple weeks if all goes well. So super excited.
Mm-hmm. I just acquired a MIG welder not too long ago too. So
oh, nice.
Dabble.
Oh, nice.
Nice. First welded project.
I got some sneaky stuff up my sleeves because it's not technically like a welding project, but it is involving a decent amount of metal. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's more going to be a project for like my beginner metal workers who are a little too intimidated right away for the welder. But I'm hoping it works. I'm hoping it works out. We'll see.
Fake it till you make it.
But yeah, what about you guys?
Well,
go ahead, Drew.
Who goes first?
You go.
Flip a coin.
I don't have.
Normally, Jeremy cues that, and Sam just did it. Well,
she's jumping right back into her old shoes.
Yeah.
It's like I never left.
Exactly.
Let's see. I am working on the barn doors for a client. I know I just finished the barn door, so it's kind of redundant, but I just keep making more and more of them. But I got a pair of barn doors that are flanking a bar in a client's house, and it's right as you walk into his living room. He's got a bar right in the center of the wall that feeds into his dining room and kitchen, and then he's got these two doors on either side that he wanted barn doors for. And I built a barn door for him already, and he wanted two more to match, and it's all in the same room, so it's kind of funny. In any case, I spent the day today spraying those with some pre-cat lacquer after staining them last night, and I filmed it all. Everybody has been asking me how I've been doing my spraying techniques for pre-cat lacquer, and I finally filmed it. I will be posting it on YouTube this week, so you guys got to keep an eye out for that. It will blow your mind and make.
Is it going to blow my mind because it's the first video in 5 months, or is it going to blow my mind because it's awesome?
Oh, rub it in, Sam.
It's okay, you hit 70,000 followers.
So is it going to be along the lines of your very first video where we're going to have to like sort through the newscasting and stuff?
There will be no paper shifting on this, I promise. But it does break it down into a pretty good DIY for the first timer. And like I said, it'll blow your mind and make you rethink how you've been finishing your projects this whole time. Because actually I did film all this, and I was pretty in-depth, and I still was able to finish 2 doors and 2 header boards in 4.5 hours. So if I wasn't filming it, I could probably have gotten it all done in about 2 hours.
Okay, wait, let's talk. Can we talk about that for like 2 seconds? Because I just had a conversation with someone today about how it really takes like 3 times as long to do anything when you have to like film and photograph things in your shop. And they're not doing YouTube yet, so like they weren't understanding. So can you guys like commiserate with me here for a second?
Oh no, absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like you gotta move to different angles, and then sometimes I forget to press record. And then I just had like a data loss issue recently for like half of a project that I filmed, and then I was like, well, that project could have taken me 2 days to make. It took me 6, and now I lost half of it, which is great. So like, I don't know. I can't wait to see your video, but also like I'm gonna keep in the back of my mind like, could have taken him like 2 days to do that instead of 6.
Could have taken him 2 hours to spray instead of 4.
Yeah. Pretty much. But yeah, it does take anywhere between double and triple the amount of time because you are changing your camera angles around. You're refocusing. You're talking to the camera. If you screw up your words, you got to start over. If your camera malfunctions, you got to start over. I mean, there's all kinds of little hidden things that people don't think about. And if you're just doing a time-lapse video and you just set the camera up and just let it go, yeah, I could have had that done in 2 hours. And then I could have taken all care of that in editing. But I don't film that way, so my projects tend to take a little longer if you want to get more involved with the videos.
Yeah. You know, another video idea for you along that same line is a beginner's guide into cleaning a gun.
I did show how I clean my gun in this video.
Okay.
Are you psychic?
I think I do. Well, I think I cleaned it the same way you did because I know I talked to you and Todd. I do it with lacquer thinner and then go back with mineral spirits. That's what you do, right?
Well, I used to, but I noticed that mineral spirits and lacquer thinner have a chemical reaction that if you do it too soon, it will be kind of gummy. So what I've been doing now is after I take them out of lacquer thinner, I will let them sit on a towel and kind of air dry. And thinner dries out really, really fast. And then I just wipe them off with a towel after that. And they're not sticky anymore.
Yeah. So that's what I do. I take them out and I let them sit. But then I do like a towel that's just dipped in some mineral spirits and just run over it just to, mainly on the outside of the gun, just to make my gun all nice and shiny and pretty again.
Yeah.
Because I don't, after you get done spraying, it looks like just a little speckled, cloudy piece of metal. I don't like it. So, all right. Well, today I spent all day, right? Another project that could have only taken like 1 hour, literally could have taken 1 hour, took all day, and that is installing AC in the shop. So I don't have a window in the shop, so I couldn't use like a window unit. And because I rent, I wasn't going to go with like a mini split because I'm not going to invest in somebody else's. I mean, I've already invested in like the electrical and the lighting and all that other. So I wasn't really wanting to like invest a couple $1,000 into an air conditioner system for the shop. So I got a portable unit, but again, because I don't have any place to vent it, I drilled through the side of the house, through the side of the shop, and vented it outside, which works pretty well, and it was quick. But I did have a pretty, and not like a huge mistake that wasn't fixable, but a mistake that like could have saved me a lot of time. And that's I didn't even take the air conditioner out of the box before I drilled through my house. And then realized that the hole I drilled was a 4 1/8 inch hole to fit a 4-inch dryer duct. And the hose coming out of the air conditioner is a 6-inch hose. So I was either going to go back and buy a 6-inch hole saw, which was about $70 and I didn't want to do, or I could reduce it. And that's what I ended up doing. I went and bought an $8 reducer and then reduced it from 6 inches to 4 inches, and it works fantastic.
So you're brave, because I would have ripped that box open before I even thought of cutting a hole in the side of my head.
It never even dawned on me, because every video I watched of somebody piping a portable AC through the side of the house was a 4-inch hose coming from their AC. Never even dawned on me. This is why you don't trust YouTube. This is just why you don't trust YouTube. Yeah, exactly.
Well, in that case, I'm not going to put my video out.
But so I'm pretty excited to have some AC in the shop. It's not like going to be 60 degrees. If I can get it down to 78 degrees, I'm good. The other side is that it has a built-in heat pump. So to raise that temperature in the wintertime will hopefully keep my glues and finishes from ruining this year. God forbid that we have another major snowstorm in South Carolina. So
okay, is a major snowstorm in South Carolina like an inch of snow?
I had 12 inches in my backyard.
Okay, well then that's a different story.
Yeah.
It's a dusting.
Schools were closed for 9 days.
9 days for a foot of snow?
Okay. Here's the thing: is the roads had 2 to 3 inches of ice on them, and so you're like, whatever. We get out, plow, throw salt. We had one plow in the state of South Carolina that was able to plow. It took like 4 days before they could get plows from other states in to start plowing and cleaning our roads.
In New York, we hear that it may snow 4 inches.
And
they got
put
like
salt on the roads and everything
66
else.
plows in the same community out on the roads waiting for it.
Yeah. I lived in New York for 3 years. I know about that.
People in the South are like, what's this white crap coming out of the sky?
So
one flurry, they're like, we're shut down. No, we're not doing anything.
So finally I was able, that was the first time in the shop in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think. Because I was out of town, and then we were evacuated for 7 days for the hurricane. Then I got back, and it was just like making repairs. So I was repairing my back porch and stuff like that. So it was good to get out in the shop and get the AC done, so I can start working on some other projects.
Nice, productive day.
I like how you said that you didn't want to invest in a mini split for somebody else's house, yet you decided to tear a hole in the side of.
I wasn't gonna say it. I'm glad you did.
Well, so here's the thing: is so he already gave me permission to do the mini split and put a hole in the side of the house. But the fact is, I can cover that hole relatively easy. It already has on the outside a dry duct vent. So on the inside, I can go back and patch that hole, or I can put a cover over it. But even in 2 years, I may just end up leaving that AC in there, and that's no big loss. It was like $475. And in 2 years, when I go to move, this technology is going to come out, and there's going to be a better air conditioner. Or depending on where I get, I may, if I end up buying a more permanent place, then I'll put a mini split in there. But I did already ask permission to put a hole in the side of his house.
Well, the funny thing is, a mini split hole is only about like an inch.
Well,
maybe not even. I don't know. It's about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter, not 4.
Yeah. I keep talking. I'll be right back. My dog's barking. He needs to go out.
Well, we might as well carry into our topic.
There's a topic.
Really don't
you
have
guys told me there wasn't a topic.
We really don't have a topic. You're the topic, Sam.
I'm not very interesting, so it's going to be a really boring podcast.
I wanted to find out, because this is kind of revolving around your shed, your shop shed, sorry.
My shop.
What kind of lighting did you put in there?
So I ended up opting. Okay, so I guess I'll backtrack a little bit and talk about the roof first. So I do have a gabled roof, and what I was doing in my old shed, because it was so small, is I was utilizing the room up there for like lumber storage and to put my my filtration system. And I wanted to do something similar in the new shed. So instead of like really closing up the ceiling or doing anything drastic, I just added plywood panels and then had my electrician come in and put in LEDs. So he did like recessed LED lighting into the panels. And I know I got a lot of flack for it because people are like, why didn't you use fluorescents? But fluorescents actually trigger, I have like a migraine thing, and fluorescents trigger my migraines, and I would prefer to not have a migraine if I'm in my workshop. So LEDs for the win. And I have like a bunch of them. It's really bright in there now.
So what is the equivalent Kelvin rating of the LEDs that you have?
I don't know. All I know is there's like...
Is it daylight equivalent?
Yeah, like all I know is like they're the bulbs that you can like adjust the warmth, which I have them on daylight right now, but like I don't really know like what the range is, because you're able to adjust them based on what you want the temperature of the room to be like, which is like pretty cool actually.
So if I want it to be 75 degrees in that room, all I got to do is just turn this little dial and the lights make it warm?
It's got to look 75 degrees, not 55 degrees.
I still feel cold.
They said 75 degrees. Why is it so cold?
That's right. It says 40 in here right now.
But I will say, like, I've gone to a lot of conferences where a lot of the video creators who are speaking, the first thing they say is the best thing you can do in your shop is upgrade your lighting. And for me, in the old shed, I was like, all right, well, that for me was changing out the 2 light bulbs that I had in my old shop to like daylight lights. And in this shop, now that I have sufficient lighting, it is insane what a difference it makes. Like the fact that I can work in there at night and like not have to worry about it being too dark for photos is incredible. It's just like there are a lot of little things in my shop that I didn't realize were luxuries until like, and now I have them and I'm like, oh my God, my mind is blown.
So for those of the people that are listening that don't know, where is this shed located? Is it on your property, your parents' property?
So because Long Island is like one of the most expensive places to live ever, I live in a 300 square foot studio, and so my new shed is on my parents' new property. So they just purchased a larger home. We all moved out and they purchased a larger home. I'm not asking questions, but they purchased a larger home with more property, and so my new shed is on their property.
What is that noise? Sounds like somebody's eating something. Are you moving paper? Sam?
I'm not eating anything. I wish I was eating something.
That's
Not me.
Sounds like something's under there going. Okay, well, we'll carry on.
That's just like my hair, like rubbing on the microphone, maybe. Let's see. All right, let's see if that's better. Where were we?
Location of the shed.
Yeah, so the shed is located on my parents' property. My dad helped me build it this summer, which is like really awesome.
So did you guys tie into their existing electrical, or did you have a box made for that?
Yes, so right now it is tied into their existing electrical because so the way that the shed is set up is that it is behind my dad's 2-car garage. So it's tied into the electrical through there. Now he is revamping his entire garage. So there's going to be like an upgraded system and whatever. We'll get there eventually. But for now, I had an electrician come in and kind of do that stuff because I do not trust myself to do any electrical work.
I respect electrical quite a bit.
Man, I'm like, that is not for me. I'll just definitely pay the right person the right amount to get that done the right way.
Yeah.
So you teamed up with Home Depot to have this shed built.
Yes.
And is this one of their kits that they had that you built from the ground up, or was this a stick-built shed?
Yes. So essentially, I've been partnering with Home Depot for a couple of years, and when my parents were selling their house, and I was like devastated because even though my shop was small at the old house, it was still my first workshop. And then I was kind of like, okay, well, what now? You know, because with them moving, it's not like their new property came with like this beautiful built shed that I could just migrate all of my tools into. So they are awesome, and they partnered with me, and they basically were like, okay, we have these DIY shed kits, which are essentially just pre-cut lumber, and everything is cut the right way, and we just have to basically assemble everything from the ground up. So that's where the kit came from.
If I remember right, you're missing part of that kit, though.
So what ended up happening was the way that everything was delivered, they didn't like differentiate between the floor kit and like the actual kit. So like when everything came in the delivery truck, they kind of just like tossed everything off the truck, which is like fine. But there were pieces that were not adding up. So like it didn't seem like there was enough to build a floor with. So what ends up happening is rather than kind of fixating on, okay, well, let's try to sort out all this 2x4, figure out what's pressure treated, what's not, what's pre-cut for the floor, what's pre-cut for the shed. Instead of driving ourselves crazy, my dad and I just decided to upgrade the floor ourselves and the foundation ourselves, and we went for pressure-treated 2x6s instead of the pressure-treated 2x4s that would have come with the kit.
Okay.
Yeah, and it worked out well because the other thing was then I opted whether to weather the exterior grade plywood as well because there is going to be wear and tear in that shop. So I kind of did the upgrading of the floor on my own, and I'm really happy that we did it that way.
So how big is it? How big is your shed?
It's a whopping 144 square feet, which feels huge compared to like the 80 square feet I was working in before.
That you're not sharing it with anybody.
And I'm not sharing it with anybody, which is like the craziest thing. Like I was standing in there doing a project the other day with my table saw open in the middle of the shop and all of my tools in there. And I was like, wait a minute, I can still walk around. I can still like have room to work. And it's also nighttime and the doors are closed and I can still see things. And I was just like, oh my God, this is like, pinch me, I'm dreaming. Like it was insane how excited I was about being in like a 12 by 12 shed working.
Yeah. So what you said your dad is gonna redo his garage? Didn't y'all I'd say just about a year or so ago redo his garage?
Yeah. So I surprised my dad with a garage makeover a couple years ago at the other house, but now that they sold, they sold for varying reasons. One is the market's really good right now. Two is they really fell in love with this like gorgeous, almost 100-year-old colonial in, kind of like a quieter neighborhood. And, three is, I know we're all moving out, but they couldn't beat the price of the house for like it being double the size of what we grew up in. So it was like a no-brainer. So yeah, I mean, we did redo the other garage, but it ended up adding like a lot of value to that. Like the new people who are buying
value.
Yeah, like the new people who are moving in are like stoked about the garage space, which they should be. It looks freaking awesome. But so
key word is there looked freaking awesome. You'll never see it again.
I know, but it's okay. So now he gets, instead of having a 1.5 car garage, he has a detached. It's kind of like a 2.5 car garage, and he is able to fit now 2 car lifts in there. It has like super high ceilings, so it's working out. Yeah, he's absolutely loving it for his classic car stuff. So
nice.
He's stoked.
Yeah, he kicked you out.
And then now he's like, so like I know we just built your shed, and I know you're nowhere near being able to afford a house yet, but like, can you move out so I can have your shed? And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. Like he's dying for me to like be able to afford a house so he can steal the shed shop that we just built.
Nice. Did you take all the license plates that were out of the old garage?
That was like a non-negotiable. He was like, those are coming with me, and we're like making a cool new spot. Like he got up on a ladder and started taking them down. Yeah.
How were they attached whenever you put them up there?
We just screwed them in.
Okay. So easy to take down.
Yeah, super easy. I mean, time to
just see you with the construction adhesive up there.
Oh, thank goodness I didn't do that. Thank goodness. Except now the other person's going to come move into the house. They're like, why are there so many holes in the garage? Why does the ceiling of the garage look like Swiss cheese? Like, what is happening?
You can't even patch it at that point. You just have to replace it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Plywood over it.
I mean, it's pretty exciting to see the growth of your shed or your shop, and it's different, being around for so long and watching you, working outside or this or that, or always complaining, oh, it's too cold or it's raining.
Oh my God, it was awful. I literally couldn't do anything in there. Like if it rained, I couldn't work because the doors had to be open in order for me to even use my miter saw. Because the only way the miter saw fit in the shop is if I bumped it up against the doors and then I had to open the doors for the clearance for the back of the saw. Yeah. So like if it rained, I couldn't work because then the water would like get all over my tools and my project. If it was, we had a pretty rough winter last winter, so we had a lot of almost 0 degree days at some point with the wind chill, and like then it was like way too cold. I actually insulated the new shed, so I'm hoping that things are a little easier in there this winter. And then in the summer, it was great to be able to have all the time to work, but I had to drag everything outside and then like essentially scorch my skin every single day. So like I said, like there are just little things that adding the extra square footage, even though it's still a 12 by 12 shed, like being able to work inside with the doors closed and the lights on and have all my tools in there functioning is like incredible. Like I really didn't think I was going to get that for a couple more years.
Yeah.
Well, now that you have it, I don't want to hear any more complaining about
There's
it being
no
cold.
complaining. There's no complaining. I'm like, every time I walk in there, I look so stupid. If like people saw my face, I'm like cheesing really big because like every time I walk in there, I'm like, I can't believe that this is like my space and that my parents allowed me to build this on their property. It like blows my mind.
So now that you have an insulator, are you going to put heating or air conditioning in it?
So I haven't insulated the ceiling yet. I'm being like weird about it because I just love the way it looks right now. And like, it's like an aesthetics thing. And I just think it looks so beautiful open right now. And I'm going to have to eventually get past that and insulate the ceiling. Like it's going to be non-negotiable. But,
as soon as that snow starts falling,
I know.
you can realize how cold that air comes in from that top.
I know.
The aesthetics are so cold.
It looks like it's 20 degrees in here.
Let me turn my lights to warm.
But no, yeah, I'm gonna eventually have to insulate the ceiling. But yeah, I think my dad and I are probably gonna get split units for the garage and the shed, and then look into installing those around the same time so that we can just, kill two birds with one stone. Because he's gonna want to do the garage the right way as well, and he is definitely gonna want to work in there as much as he can once it's done.
Yeah. I mean, I've only had one for a few hours functional, but just the little bit I was there was like, I have no idea why I didn't do that sooner.
Yeah.
And the fact that, my wife for at least a year has been telling me to do it, and then I still wouldn't have. She went and bought the air conditioner for me and was like, I'm tired of you complaining. Here you go. So.
Well, I got plans for a mini split in mind, but I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make that deadline by the end of the year just because of just money. It's just money.
Yeah. Mini splits, the unit itself is not, you can get a good one for, $800-900, but it's the installation cost. If you're going to have a AC guy come out and do it, they're going to charge you like $1,200 to install.
Well, I will save money there because my brother, he luckily loves to work with electricity. So he can help me run all of the electrical to where it needs to go in the wall. And he likes to do things himself too, just like I do. So he and I will probably tackle the installation. It's just having that second person to bounce the ideas off of, especially when one person has had more experience in that than the other. Because my brother has followed an HVAC guy around for, I don't know, several years. And not only that, but he likes to work with electrical. So he will be the best person to have on hand whenever I finally decide to do that. But it's just the money to go buy it and then commit to the installation too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm glad that you finally got yourself a bigger place. How far is it? I know your drive from your place to your parents' old house was not that far. Is it any further, closer?
So this is pretty sweet. So I got a new job this year. I'm stoked about it. It's so much closer to home. Last year I had about an hour commute each way to work, which made getting to the shop during the week like pretty impossible because even though my job was an hour from where I live, it was an hour and a half from where my shop was. Yeah. And during Long Island rush hour, that was just like not happening. So now my job is literally a 3-minute drive from my workshop now.
Nice. So how far is it from your house?
Life ever. It's about 20 minutes. So it's about like 10 minutes shorter of a commute now.
So do you take a change of clothes after work and change clothes?
My parents think they have a guest room. It's really my office. Like, so I have.
I mean, you did just put a new computer in there.
I have my new computer in there. I have my desk in there. I have a lot of work clothes in there. Yeah, it's not. They think it's a guest room, but they're in for a rude awakening.
They got a permanent guest.
They got a permanent guest. They're not getting rid of me.
So, all right. Well, you've also had some other big, exciting news since the last time you've been on the podcast. You are now engaged.
I sure am.
Where's the ring?
Wait. I gotta straighten it out. There it is.
Ooh.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Nice one.
So when
cut somebody's face.
Have you set a date yet?
No, I mean, look, we've been together for almost 9 years. We met when we were in college and undergrad, and Chris really really helped support me mentally through grad school. And one of the things that I always said was it would be really difficult for me to try to like plan next steps before I got my PhD. So like, I got the PhD and then finally found myself that really cushy, nice job that I really love so much. And so it felt like the right time and for both of us. And so now, we're not really in a rush to plan anything because we've been together for so long. But, we do know it's going to be in Montauk because, that's where he grew up and that's our spot together. We just don't know when yet. So we're figuring out. We're going to start planning this fall. So I'm going to DIY a lot of cool stuff for the wedding.
Nice. You did do some pretty good collaborations with people for that.
Yeah, it'll be really cool. And I'm excited to make it feel like handmade and personal and, come up with some really cool projects that I think other people might want for their weddings or their parties as well. And it's kind of cool for us, like as creators and makers and woodworkers, like it's really cool to have the ability to like mesh the two spaces that way. And so I'm going to try to do that as much as I can with the wedding planning stuff as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look, we'll have our next meetup at Sam's wedding.
Party!
So, yeah, that's exciting. All right, well, let's before we get into
congrats.
Yeah, definitely congrats. Before we get into product recommendations, let's go ahead and talk about what's new, Drew, because I know we're going to have some conversation around this.
Yes, because we actually just made this announcement today.
Wait, before you say it, I'm sorry, but like, I want to apologize to Sam that she's not here for this.
I know. This is we talked about this, and we miss Sam a lot. I think she had a big pull in us getting this, so I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to hopefully it'll turn out really good for us.
Okay, so now that I just left everybody hanging, go ahead.
Or I was rudely interrupted.
I just feel bad. Like, Sam's not here for it, but I'll celebrate for her because I'm so excited for you guys.
Well, one Sam's as good as another. I mean,
we're interchangeable.
That's right. But we actually just made this announcement today on our Instagram feeds. We are going to WORKBENCHcon as a group, Woodshop 101 podcast. We are not just going as spectators. We are actually going to be speaking on the last 2 days of the show. So we are pretty excited about that. It was a wonderful opportunity, and Jeremy, Sam, I mean, they kind of had a big hand in getting all of that lined out. So I was just along for the ride, I think.
I cannot wait to heckle you guys. I'm so excited.
You know what? It's all going to be pitched back on you. It's going to be like, well, hang on, Sam, you were on the podcast, so what's your intake on it? And everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah. And you'll be like,
I'll be like, I gotta
go. We ain't going to do that. If you heckle us one time, your butt's coming up on stage.
Okay, so I'm just going to sit really quietly in the back row. Like, slumped down in my seat so you barely see me.
You can go ahead. I mean, you're going to be on stage already, so we'll just come to your session and heckle you.
True. If I heckle you, hopefully my class is first.
But here's the thing is, are you doing one session? Or are you doing two?
I'm doing two, so I will be there.
Okay, so there's at least a second session.
Yes, I will be there as well. I'm going to make a sign on the door that says you guys are not allowed, and if I have to do this first.
Our pictures will be at the door.
Like,
let these people in.
Yeah, exactly. When you see, like, on TV where they have, like, stores and they have pictures of people in the back that, like, stole or, like, cash fraudulent checks. I'm like, if you see these people, do not let them in.
They're chronic hecklers.
But yeah, I will be there too. I'm teaching a class about really about like the benefits of blogging and kind of going to becoming prepared with some stats about why blogging is really not a dying art form, which I think is cool, and how you can use a blog to help leverage your business and your content. So I'm really excited, but I'm also like, I used a different term before, but I'm like really nervous about it. Like, so I don't know. It'll be good.
That's an understatement of what she said earlier.
I said something along those lines like poop emoji and pants emoji.
Her entire presentation is just going to be emojis.
God.
Yeah, so that's exciting. I mean, it's exciting that all four of us are actually going to be in the same place at the same time, and not only just hanging out, but we'll actually be presenting. So,
but it'll also be the first time that all four of us. I said, because I'm the lone wolf here. You guys have all met. Mm-hmm. I am the only one of all four of us that have not met you in person.
You're the only online date that I haven't had a real date with yet.
Yeah,
well, get ready because we're gonna have one.
Yes,
it's gonna be a lot of drinks.
A lot of
Drew, I'm gonna front you. Like, everybody says Sam is short. Sam is way tinier in person than what I ever imagined.
I'm basically a party trick. Like, people don't believe me when I say that I'm small, and then they meet me in person. They're like, "Oh my God, you're so short," and I'm like, "I know. Like, I swear I wasn't lying."
How tall are you?
I'm 5'1".
Okay, so your head will probably come to like right here on me. Like, top of your head will be right there.
Okay.
Because my wife is 5'3".
Then I can hear that you have a real heart, because I'll be heart level.
Oh, sorry. You're 5'4". Oh, look, she heard me down the hall.
Look, mine has the same
short me that 1 inch. I worked hard for it.
Mine has the same argument. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure your driver's license says 5'3". No, I'm 5'4". You don't grow as you get older. You shrink.
They also don't round up. If you're 5'1 and a half, the DMV does not care.
They're 5'1".
You're 5'1".
Just wait till you get older. You'll shrink some, and then you'll be like, "No, give me the 1 inch."
Anymore, I'm gonna disappear. Like, I better not.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you sit on a booster seat? You're not reaching our camera.
You know what? That's gonna be it. We're gonna be on. Sam, stand up, please. We can't hear you in the back. Sam, stand up, please.
Can hear and or see you in the back.
Can somebody get the little girl off the stage?
You know, so there's a like a presentation, like media requirement deadline for us. I think sometime in January. I don't remember. Is yours gonna like have to include a step stool or like a stage like a stage height modification?
Like some phone books on the stage, or I'm gonna have to put that on the list of things that I need for presenting.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like, why do you need 20 phone books?
No, don't worry about it. Trust me.
Just shut up and do it.
Just give me that. So,
you know how like when famous bands like come to town and they have like the list of things, like their demands. Like, my demand is going to be like 6 phone books. They're going to be like, "What is this?"
Not the local phone books either. I need the yellow pages.
Yeah, they're going to be like, "I don't even know how to get a phone book. How do you get a phone book?"
Are those still a thing? Like, I don't. They're like, "Can't you just Google?"
I don't know. Yeah, can we give you 6 Googles, 6 computers to?
Yeah.
No, I can't stand on computers.
That's all you can do.
So that's exciting.
That's exciting news for all 4 of us.
Well, and I think as a whole, like last year was a blast. For the first one, it was a blast. But there was definitely, in my eyes, a lot of downfalls there. Some of the venues were really small, where people were sitting out in the hall, and it was really. I'm not for sure how far, but it was pretty far from the hotel.
Yeah, I think, the thing that I keeping in mind, too, it was their first year. And the first year of anything always has kinks they need to work out. I think the venue itself, the aesthetics were, like, perfect.
I loved
absolutely
the aesthetics.
Perfect.
The old warehouse.
That old warehouse was great. I definitely would have preferred a couple things be different, but I think they've done a really amazing job of listening to feedback.
Oh yeah. The fact that this year it's within like a 3-block walking distance from the hotel.
It's great.
That you can either walk indoors through like sky bridges and stuff, or you can walk down the road. Which I think, last year a big piece of it and it was they only had provided like 1 shuttle, and when it was full, it was full. Everybody else had to figure out how they were going to get there. So we Ubered every day. It was me, Sam, her mom, Sadie from Awesome Orange, just about every morning, and then Jay from D Madeira. So I mean that. When you're taking a couple Ubers every day, it gets kind of pricey on top of everything else. And then it was like $30 or $40 a day just to have my car parked in the garage. So the fact is that I think that's a huge logistical aspect that's going to be different this year. And I'm excited that I can drink all I want at the Maker meetup. That's hopefully they're doing that again. Wasn't that on like Friday night that the social that they provided?
They had I don't know. We were all just socializing every night.
Yeah.
I don't know like what was official and what wasn't.
Well, the one
it was great.
there was
I'm
one across the street, right at the venue.
Yeah, they did. They had the first night they had us all come and hang out and a little like barbecue thing.
Yeah. Well, no. Mm-hmm. So there was that Thursday night deal, right? That had the barbecue at the food trucks. But then that next night, it was across the street inside one of the venues, that inside bar. Remember where they had the Maker meals and stuff?
That's right.
That was all you can drink and all you can eat hors d'oeuvres for like 2 hours or 3 hours. And I was like, we'll only have like 1 or 2 because I still got to get like back to the hotel. No, I can stumble back to the hotel now.
Dude, that's how it was for me in Kansas City.
So, but no, it's going to be a blast. And I think we finally signed the contract and sent it off yesterday or the day before. So we were kind of itching to get it out and announce it. We definitely wish that Sam was here to announce it with us. But she'll be here with us next week, and we are actually going to be sitting down with Kristen and talking about WORKBENCHcon in Haven. So we'll get all the inside scoops, and we actually have some other pretty cool stuff lined up with her next week. So definitely make sure you're gonna tune into that, because you could just be on the hook for something cool.
Oh, I'm definitely tuning in.
Well,
I want something cool.
Well, it's pointless for you, but
oh, so I shouldn't tune in at all?
No, you should definitely tune in because you might learn something about WORKBENCHcon or Haven that you didn't know. But
the other thing,
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what the other thing is, and you realize I would be like, oh no, I
know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm using my reasoning skills here, you guys.
Oh yeah, she does that.
She's a doctor now. Sorry, I forgot the introduction. Sorry, we're here with Dr. DIY.
Someone else called me Dr. DIY, and I was like, that's not a bad... If I ever wanted to rebrand, that wouldn't be a bad one. Dr.
DIY Huntress. So, all right, well, let's...
DIY Huntress PhD.
There you go. Are they putting that in your
oh, God,
bio?
No. No.
I mean, I did see your bio was definitely talking about you being a doctor.
Well, I mean, I started my blog when I was getting my PhD, so I gotta talk about that, you know?
So would your blog be your internship?
That would be the sickest internship ever.
Probably better than some of the internships that you had.
Yeah.
I may give this blog presentation as if I were defending a dissertation, so just be prepared.
Oh, that's even more reason to heckle.
Yeah. Like, why are you yelling at me? All I did was give you congratulations. So, all right, well, let's jump into some product recommendations. Drew, you want to go first?
Yeah, I couldn't remember if I have done this or not, but
but it's worth it.
It is mainly because I have now started my own business, so keeping track of records is it's of the utmost importance to make sure that you're ready for tax time. And this particular app is called Mile IQ. It is a subscription service, so if you want to keep it up, you'll just have to pay. I believe I think it's monthly. I think you can do every 6 months too, but I think I've got it set up for monthly. And it will automatically keep track of your drive times, and all you have to do is swipe personal or business, and you can also assign these locations that you've been to, so whenever you go there again, it's an automatic listed there, so it's a lot easier to remember where you've been if you haven't classified your drives in 2 or 3 days like I've done in the past. But instead of having a logbook in your car, it just makes it so much easier. As long as you got your cell phone with you, which most of the time most people do when they go anywhere, your miles are automatically tracked. And if you have a personal tracking, such as going to the doctor, that's easy to log as well for your personal taxes. So I highly recommend, if you have your own business, to get Mile IQ.
Yeah, definitely. I think I used it for a while. And this goes back to that conversation that we need to find somebody that's really well versed in software, because again, like I use like 10 different services and and one of them is I use Expensify for tracking mileage now, but like it's just on top of 10 different services. Like I'm ready to drop it because I actually have to go in there and manually input everything. And so I'll probably definitely check out Mile IQ again. I know I had it for a while, and I don't really know why I stopped using it. I think that was back before there was like unlimited data plans again. And it was like, oh, you're exceeding your data because you're watching too much YouTube. So
what? Crap. Well, I prefer it over QuickBooks Self-Employed because it's also got a mile tracker, but I don't find it as accurate. Sometimes it even misses a complete drive, and I didn't have everything to track. So I kind of compared. I had QuickBooks on and I had Mile IQ on, and I just drove around for a couple of days, and there were about 2 drives, I think, that were completely missed out of QuickBooks. So I decided not to use it anymore.
Okay. I didn't realize that QuickBooks actually tracked it like that by GPS.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. Well, Sam, I know you have another service that you want to talk about, and tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I have an interesting one. So I was finding that I was having a lot of trouble keeping up with some of like the more logistical social media stuff that I don't necessarily love to use. So like, for instance, Pinterest is a really great source of traffic for websites, but I don't love using it. And I also feel like when I do use it, I'm not using it the right way. So I decided to actually go through Upwork recently and hire a freelancer who is doing some of that Pinterest stuff for me and is really pinning my content appropriately, and then also making sure that she's keeping in mind like the niche audience that looks at my website. So it's been really awesome to kind of let go of that a little bit and give it to somebody else and have her do that for me. And on Upwork, you can kind of choose your budget as well. So say I don't want to, not saying numbers, but like, let's just say, for example, I don't want to spend more than like $40 a week on a virtual assistant who's helping me do my Pinterest. So they help hook you up with that person for the right price. Nice.
I heard about Upwork somewhere else recently, and I don't remember where. But oddly enough, it was somebody was saying the exact same thing, that they're using it for Pinterest. I don't remember.
I think like Pinterest gets a bad rap for being more like female oriented and for being more like, oh, well, it's just a place to store ideas. But what ends up happening is when you have a website and you look at the back end, you end up finding that Pinterest is usually your number one source of traffic. And so when you're leveraging that the right way and you're getting to the right audience, that can really be so powerful for your brand. So to have somebody who really knows what they're doing or has the patience to do that for you, it's like invaluable.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just funny that when you text me, you're like, oh yeah, I'm using this for Pinterest. I'm like, man, somebody else literally, I heard it this week. And
it's
what? I think maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it was Ben from Modern Maker Podcast. I'm not sure. I think he did mention that, but I'm not sure. So it's funny that it's the same service is being used for the same social platform.
Look, and there are other platforms, like there are scheduling platforms like Tailwinds and things like that, or Board Booster, where you can like schedule pins. But even that, for me at least, having a full-time job and then also juggling the website feels like too much sometimes. It's just like that. It's like the straw that breaks the camel's back for me sometimes. I'm like, I can't do it. So having somebody who's keeping track of that is just amazing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I'm doing it great by any means. It's at least being more consistent. I use the service if this and that. So I just make sure that one of my lead images in the blog post is the appropriate size and stuff that looks good on Pinterest. And so anytime that I post something new to the website, the service automatically pulls it and plugs it into whatever folder that I want on Pinterest. So there's at least populating. But outside of that, as far as organization and like sharing other ideas or repinning things, I really don't do that. And then so I think that's one of those, probably the next things I need to really get a round turn on is getting that whole piece figure it out or hiring somebody else to do it for me.
I mean, think about it. Like, people go on Pinterest is like the Google of creative ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you're looking for an idea for your home, you're probably going to Pinterest to look for it. And so why not get your content on there and make that content relevant, and then have that content be boosted because you have higher numbers on it. And then at that point, it's coming up first when you're scrolling, and it's going to be one of the first things that someone clicks on when they're looking for something that's relevant to that.
Yeah. So the person you started working with, did they give you any directions? So are you having to do anything else on your end as far as modification of pictures or
literally nothing else? Yeah, literally nothing. She's I already add to all of my blog posts kind of like an infographic being like, oh, if you want to save this project for later, pin this. And then it's like an infographic with like the project and description. And then in the alt text or the image description, I'll already pre-write what I want to be pinned, like hashtag DIY, like retro bench, hashtag free woodworking plans. And then, so then when she'll like basically go through my website and pull content for me and schedule it either to Tailwinds or organically pin it. But she's really only posting the relevant stuff.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to really what was doing in the shop, and that's recommending my portable AC. I have the I don't even know how to say it. Hints.
How are you going to recommend something and not know how to?
Well, I can spell it, and people can go look for the spelling.
I say Hisense.
Hisense. I think that's how it is. So I kind of did a lot of research into when I literally said like I wanted one, but I didn't go buy one. I did spend the majority of the summer just like looking through them and trying to find out, because I was on the same token. Like for the longest time, I was like, I don't ever need a heater, like whatever. But surprisingly, I wasted so much finish and glue this year because it got cold enough that, and now all my stuff resides in a metal cabinet. So I decided that because things were freezing, that I needed something with a heater. I didn't know if I wanted to do like a radiator heater in there. But for the same price of any other AC out there, I found this one that has a heat pump built into it. It's 8,000 BTU, so it's just perfect for my shop. And it actually gets the air coming out of it is cold pretty quickly. And I switched it over from heat. I think I had it down at like 69. I immediately switched it over to heat, and within 30 seconds, it was pumping out 72 degree hot air. So only time will tell actually how it performs, but so far I really like it. And the ease of use of it comes with a cool little remote, and there's like a bunch of different settings on there. There's like a smart setting that will like automatically adjust the temperature based off of the remote. So there's like a thermostat in the remote. So say the remote's across the shop, it's going to read that temperature instead of reading the temperature right there on the unit itself, because everybody knows like that, 2 or 3 feet around it's always going to be a little bit colder. So it may read a different temperature, but across the shop it's still going to be hot, or it's going to still be really cold. So by at least having that smart remote over there, it will read the temperature over there and still pump out air until it reaches its ideal side. So I would definitely recommend.
Don't leave it in a window.
Yeah, don't leave it in a window.
Sunlight makes that remote hot.
So here's the thing: is I was like, man, I don't really understand this, because like I was holding it in my hand and it went from like 81 to 88, and I was like, okay, maybe it's in my hand. So I was playing with it. So I went and stuck it in the AC, and within like 30 seconds, the temperature on the remote was reading 55 degrees. So I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. So it's pretty cool. I highly recommend it if you're going to go into the portable AC game. I'm going to put a link in the description of the video when I release it next week, but I was kind of torn. Like I didn't understand it. Okay, what's a portable AC? What's like a swamp cooler versus the window units? And there was a pretty cool video put out from Richard over on Ask This Old House on YouTube, and it explains the difference between the three, between a window unit, a portable AC, and then I think they call them evaporative cooler or swamp cooler. And that's really what made me stick to it, was, okay, this is like the best of both worlds, right? It's still going to pull some of the humidity out, but it's not some big unit that it's going to spend a lot of money or that I have to have a window for.
So I might have missed this. How many square feet is it rated for?
It's 8,000 BTUs. It's rated at like 500 square feet, I think. That's the one thing I've noticed across all AC manufacturers on portable ACs is one will say 10,000 BTUs is good for a 500 square foot shop versus somebody else like Hisense will say, the 8,000 is good for like 420. So it, I always was telling, I want a 10,000 BTU unit or a 12,000, but it started to look like it. You can't necessarily shop that way because not all portable AC units are rated the same. So the one that I actually have is 8,000, and it's rated at about 450 to 500 square feet, which is
okay, about the size of a garage.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't really understand like what's the rating for. Like, okay, in 500 square feet, it's good to drop it 3 degrees or 5 degrees or what. But let's see, one wall in the shop, only one is not insulated. So the wall that actually drilled through is not insulated because that's an exterior wall in a garage. Most of the time, builders don't insulate those. But the other side of the shop in the front wall is insulated, and then I have an insulated hurricane garage door, which I actually think I'm going to double insulate it. I think I'm going to put more insulation on that door, probably coming up in the next month or two. So hopefully that one wall doesn't suck a lot of the air out. I don't think it will. Like I said, I'm not trying to get it super cold, just comfortable where I'm not sweating all over my work. So
just not heat stroke.
Exactly. I think that's one thing I told my wife, and that's why she went out and got it. Is I get home and here with 100% humidity and it's 100 degrees already. I'm like, I don't want to go out in the shop. The last thing I want to do is sweat all over my tools, all over the workpiece, and always have to carry a towel. And I was like, I don't want to do it. Like that takes the fun out of working in the shop.
You know what it sounds like? It's not a heat problem. You just have a sweating problem.
It is. Here. Move me back out to Texas in a drier climate, and I'll be good. So.
Sweating problem, yeah. Just get you a good deodorant.
I was just saying, you should get a good deodorant sponsor maybe for this workshop.
Yeah, I do.
And this episode is brought to you by Degree.
So
well, that's cool. So we are very happy for Sam for getting engaged and getting her shed shop, and then being a part of WORKBENCHcon and being able to meet us. That's always a good thing. Getting to meet us.
When she finally gets to meet us, yeah.
I already met most of you guys. So how about instead of getting to just have a play date?
That's true. But also getting to come on the show for the first time in quite a while has been a pleasure. It's having you back has been fun.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's really awesome. I was very excited to spend some time with you guys tonight.
Yeah, definitely wish we had double the Sams on because there was a lot of laughs the last time.
We'll have to make another date where we can have the double Sam action on one podcast episode again.
Yeah.
Maybe if we can figure out how to do an episode from WORKBENCHcon.
That would be cool.
Maybe. I don't know how we can do it, but we might have to try to figure it out.
Only after Jeremy's walked home from the bar already.
I'm not even sure I'll know how to record it at that point. Where's the record button? It's that giant red one.
Yeah.
What giant red button?
This is 401. Yes, sir. Well, we would like to remind you that if you listen to the show on iTunes, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating. It'll just help us reach a greater audience. And if you can leave us some feedback, like the Jerome family said, it's great to listen to the hosts have a conversation about the topics, and it's legit. As in they aren't talking at each other or listeners, but actually talking with the workshop around. And that in the beginning, and on a lot of episodes, they remind to sometime have the attention span of a goldfish out of the shop. And sometimes it takes longer to do a project. It's a relaxing podcast that touches over and over again on the basics in the shop and an inside look of the crazy it takes to be a family member / woodworker / maker / blogger / podcaster / YouTuber, all rolled into one, but they make it work. Thanks a lot. That was an awesome comment.
Yeah.
That was like a New York Times rated review. That was amazing.
You know what? It was awesome. The fact that, like, when I went and checked the reviews today, I'm like, holy, this thing is long. And that makes you actually kind of feel good that somebody took that much time out of their day to write something about you. So definitely thank you for going in and writing about the podcast, because it means a lot. It makes us want to continue to do this.
Yep, it does. I even missed a line in there, too. I was reading it so thoroughly, and I screwed up a whole line. I don't know if you guys caught that.
We definitely caught that you could not read.
I saw Sam kind of giggling, and I was like, oh, I must have screwed something up.
I was just going to let you have it.
But yeah, I accidentally skipped the line. It says, I love the face that, like me, they all have these hectic, regular family lives that they all have to work around. So, but yeah, that was awesome. We appreciate that. And if you guys don't mind, head on over there, give us another feedback comment like that, and we will feature you on the next show. So, Sam, I know that people have heard you on this show before, but we have got some new listeners as well as a new patron. So, nice. For those people, if they don't know how to contact you, how do they go about doing so?
Well, good question. So if you're looking to contact me, you can reach me across all social media platforms at DIY Huntress. I'm pushing the YouTube channel now, so on YouTube at DIY Huntress. Or you can find my website at DIYHuntress.com, and I have a little contact button there. So if you have any questions, comments, general concerns, you can go ahead and send me a message through there as well.
Oh. So hear that, Jeremy? We got some general concerns, don't we?
I'm sure you do. I'm going to start blocking all of your email addresses on that contact form. I don't know if that's an option, but I'm going to find out now.
She's probably got us on her blacklist on YouTube.
Well, you know what? And here's the funny thing. Like, when we approached her just like 5 days ago to be on the podcast, I was like, Drew, we should probably have a backup because we probably aren't going to hear from her for like 3 months.
Wow, what faith.
The fact that she responded like within like
immediately
minutes,
thank you very much.
She doesn't have anything to do.
Yeah. What is going on? Like, I feel special.
I have a normal schedule now, and I don't have 6 jobs anymore. So
you're saying you want to be a part of the show again? Is that what it is?
Yeah, bring me back.
I don't know if we can handle 2 Sams.
Ooh,
you guys are gonna make me quit.
I'm up for it though.
No, I'm gonna sit back and just watch the magic happen.
The Sam show.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
But I was excited. I was excited to see that text because it's definitely been a while.
Well, you're always welcome. You know that, right? And if you have a less hectic schedule and you still want to be a part of the show, we can always have you on.
You guys are the best.
So, Jeremy, go ahead and give your contact info real quick.
You can find me at countrysideworkshop.com. There's a contact form there that you can get a hold of me. Or you can find me over on Instagram, DM me. That's probably the most busy social platform I'm on. I still do Facebook.
Twitter.
I don't even know what that is anymore. In fact, there was like some like giveaway or something that I wanted to enter. And when it was like, it's only done through Twitter, I was like, well, nope, not into that thing.
Forget that one.
So, yeah, I pretty much over on Instagram is going to be where you're going to find me the most. I think I probably check Facebook most each day, but I don't really respond or post over there anymore.
That's
and
nice.
You can find me over on YouTube as well. Got a couple videos coming up. Hopefully one next week, and then Maybe one every week or 2 weeks for at least the foreseeable future until I get caught up on some stuff. So
I thought you were gonna say maybe one next week and then one 5 months from now. You know, pull it through.
Kind of like the behind the couch table. Or...
You know what, Sam? This is the first time I've had you on since the dining room table's actually been done.
Yeah, I know, and I think I heckled you enough about that to get it done finally. You guys, even though I haven't been on the podcast, I've been bothering him about getting this dining room table done for like a year.
Well, it's because she felt sorry for your wife.
No, it's because like I'm pretty sure at some point we made a bet and I won, and like you guys owe me something.
You go find what episode we made the bet on, and then.
Oh, don't tempt me! Don't tempt me! I will.
She's got all night.
No, I don't. I have to be up really tomorrow for it.
Not me. I took another day off, so I'll be in the shop tomorrow.
Nice.
Well, then
mainly because the Woodshop 101 Cutting Board Challenge, when you're listening to this, will have just ended. But I haven't even started mine.
Me neither. It's okay. I got
just
3
did
to
like
do.
30
You guys are
boards.
terrible.
I know, but I have this one in mind, in particular, that I need to get done.
Yeah,
and it was specific for the show or for the contest, so I got to get it done. So, I may do that tomorrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be mine tomorrow.
Okay, so if you guys want to get in contact with Sam Waddell of Sam Ryan Designs, you can reach her through her website, which is pretty easy. It's samryandesigns.com. You'll find all of her contact information there. And mine is on rhwoodshop.com. Contact section, just find all my contact there, or you can go right through the website. We'll be fine. Instagram is where I'm pretty frequent. I am on YouTube still, so if you have comments or anything that you drop, I try and answer those pretty frequent as well. But if you want to get in contact with the podcast itself, and you guys, if you want to leave a voicemail to let us know if Sam needs to be on the show more often, feel free to call 409-234-3959. Leave us an audible voicemail giving Sam more incentive to come on the show.
Operators are standing by.
Not $4.99, not $3.99.
Yeah,
but you can also... Oh, go ahead, Jeremy. What?
I don't know if I said this last time or said it when we launched the new website, but you can actually upload audio files directly to our contact form over on woodshop101podcast.com, I think /contact. You can upload your voicemail files directly to that as well through your voice memo app. So
yep. And the voice memo app will also work through our email that we have, which is kickback@woodshop101podcast.com. So there are multiple ways that you can get in contact with the podcast. Don't forget, like Jeremy said, we do have that new website up and running. So be sure and check it out. So Sam, thanks for being on the show. It was fun.
Thanks for having me back, guys. I'm glad you still like me.
Always.
Yeah. What she said. All right, so...
I do talk to you quite often, so...
I know, I talk to you guys often enough, so it was nice to be back.
But see, the listeners need that more often now in their lives.
Okay, you guys are next.
So from Jeremy, Sam, the missing Sam, and myself, we want to wish you guys well. Please be safe in your shops, and we will talk to you on the next podcast episode. So 1, 2, 3, boom!
Boom!